On today's episode, we look at success. Welcome to Headgoose, your home for positivity and your place for just making life better. Success is something we all want on some level. For some of us, that means becoming a billionaire or multimillionaire. For others, it means having a stable life, a great job, a nice family with more than enough money to pay the bills. No matter how you define it, we all want some form of success. So how is it that two people from the same place with similar upbringings can end up in two totally different situations? One can end up a multi-millionaire, and the other living under a bridge. What makes one person succeed and the other fail? You may think, some people had more opportunities and a better start. Tell that to Oprah Winfrey. She was born to a single mother and grew up in poverty. She endured some awful things growing up, and yet somehow, she became a billionaire. Clothing designer icon Ralph Lauren also grew up in poverty in the Bronx in New York City.
I don't know if I ever call myself a designer. I never look for titles. I love what I do. I loved what I did. I started making neckties out of a drawer in the Empire State Building.
Despite his circumstances, Ralph Lauren eventually created his own clothing brand, and today, he is a billionaire. Now consider the story of Nick. He's another guy who grew up in poverty like Oprah and Ralph Lauren. Nick's story is different. Nick eventually turned to drugs and hasn't been in contact with his family. The last they knew, he was homeless, living on the streets. So this begs the question, if it's not about your circumstances, is success available to you? What would it mean if success really was available to you? If you could actually achieve your dreams? What if all the statements, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not smart enough, I have no money to start, my situation's too complicated, I messed up too bad. What if all those statements are just lies? They are lies. Researchers have studied successful people for hundreds of years. They asked them questions. They figured out how they think, what they did with their time, how they communicated with others, how they communicated with themselves. The truth is, success is available to you. Success starts and ends in your mind. Sure, there are skills and ways to grow, but it all starts in your mind. You must learn to have a relationship with yourself. Yes, yourself. Think about it. You are constantly talking to yourself. The question is, what are you saying to yourself? If you want to achieve your dreams, it starts with you learning to become your own best friend. When you have a dream, do you tell yourself, it's out of reach, you're not smart enough, you don't have what it takes? This is the voice in your head. Today, right now, take control of that inner voice and transform it into becoming your coach and your best friend. Starting today, that voice needs to be your encourager. That voice needs to believe in you. That voice pushes you when you're tired. That voice tells you you can when you feel like you can't. Success requires that you master this relationship. Success requires that you become your own coach and best friend. You must commit to mastering your inner voice. Your inner voice isn't affected by your emotions. Your inner voice isn't affected by your fears. Your inner voice isn't affected by your day-to-day mood. When you get sad, your inner voice says, you can do this. When you feel defeated, your inner voice says, you have what it takes. You must make the decision right now to never talk trash to yourself again. You must always force your inner voice to build yourself up, push yourself, and tell yourself you are capable. But what about 2 a.m. when you can't sleep and you're worried about life? What if you have no energy to push yourself and you feel weak? What if you're suffering and overwhelmed? What if you feel life is just too hard? When you're at your weakest, you simply repeat these words over and over. You can do this. You are capable. You can do this. You are capable. You can do this. It is possible. Slowly, you will dig yourself out of your rut and start to feel better. Look at your